How you doing, YouTube? I am here with Kenny, talking about the registry and how it can be uh, unconstitutional. Some of us we get unjustly charged, get sucked into situations we should not be in, and it impacts us for the rest of our lives. And it's a heavy burden to carry. Kenny, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, some of your history?
My name's Kenny Fanning. Live in Oklahoma. I'm a former police officer, fireman, and medic. I was unjustly accused of doing something that was in my sleep. Like I said, there's a lot to this story that people doesn't know. And I know the justice system inside and out. I've seen both sides of the fence. I've seen the repercussions of
Uh-oh, Kenny, I think you froze. Kenny, are you still with us?
Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear you. You went out. When you said justice system, that was the last thing we heard.
Justice system is broke. It's been broke. And I didn't realize how broke it was until I went through it all. The registration, if they don't abolish it, they should go through cases and make it a case-by-case basis. I agree that there are some people that need to be tracked because they're pretty sick. But in my case, on the registry, it says that I'm a non-habitual offender. But the problems that I have ran into as far as where I can live, I mean, there's just so many things about the registry that's not applicable. And it's just ridiculous.
So,
and
Kenny, I'm sorry, go ahead. So, Kenny, you went from law enforcement to the sex offender registry?
Yes, I had stopped being an officer because I realized the justice system was broke. I was seen as a bad guy in people's eyes and adults. I was the bad guy. That's not why I got into public service.
So, how did you actually get on? How did you go from law enforcement to the registry?
It was a few years after I had stopped being an officer. And my wife and I were going through a divorce, a hostile child custody battle, and accusations were made through basically a third party who had influenced my daughter. And I was convicted in 2008, and I served 12 3/4 years in the state penitentiary. Upon release, I have to register as a level 3 sex offender for the rest of my life. That's how I got there.
Wow. Your kid. Somebody got into the head of your kid that got you on the registry. How old was your kid?
My son was 9 years old, and he was not allowed to testify. My daughter was 11 years old, and she testified against me in court whenever she was 12, because I sat in county jail for a year, been passed up on discovery hearings and the trial pretty much about 7 times each, because my lawyer said they didn't have enough evidence to move forward. So my kids were
That's crazy. So why would someone have reason to want to turn your kid or kids against you?
Well, that's pretty kind of a long story too, but I will refrain from using the woman's name. But she began feeding my ex-wife after they became associated, started feeding her drugs, Xanax and marijuana, and my wife fell right into it. She had no interest in my kids until she figured out that my ex-wife was wanting to get back together with me, and it was through my kids that she made it happen.
And in your case, didn't they state that you were sleeping?
Yes.
So if you were sleeping, how were you charged with anything while sleeping in a state of mind where you're incapacitated? I can't the word right now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, right before the trial, my attorney told me of a law in the state of Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma State Statute, Title 21, subsection 152-6. It states all persons are capable of committing crimes unless they are unconscious. Unconsciousness is a form, sleeping is a form of unconsciousness. And according to that state statute, I should never have been convicted. But that case, or that law, was never, it was never challenged in court. The judge didn't want to hear it.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any sleeping disorders?
No, not really. But it was not uncommon for me to come home after working from 6 to 4, fall asleep on the couch for an hour or so. I had my ex-wife did state that I had woken up swinging at her and hitting her due to my PTSD. And she had said also that, I mean, she knew that I was tired. I worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And due to depression, PTSD, and my work ethic, I was exhausted. So it was not uncommon for me to come home and pass out or wake up and be, you know, doing something I wouldn't normally do. But that's what got me, is because I have never been legally diagnosed with disorder.
Have any of your friends and family, well, you said your wife told you you may do certain things in your sleep, but have you ever been caught like moving around while sleeping? Like actually physically like up walking around? Or
not up physically walking around, no.
Does your wife have any history of abuse or sexual violence from the past?
Yes, she accused her father whenever she was, I believe, 13 or 14 of sexual misconduct of her, which ended up in her being removed from her home and put in DHS custody.
And do you think that had anything to do with what's happening to you right now, or what had happened to you?
I believe it played a part. Yes, I do.
Tell me about your daughter.
My daughter was a beautiful girl. She's well accepted in society. She was popular. She played softball. I was real proud of her. I was hoping she'd get a scholarship, but there's some things that happen with her that leads up to all this. And it's hard to talk about. I don't want to put her on blast because, you know, I love her and I protect her. I always will. And she even stated in court that I wouldn't do that in my sleep. And I know that I probably wouldn't either. And the details of that part is pretty hurtful, because fatherhood doesn't come with a manual. And whenever things happen that you're not expecting, it's sometimes hard to address it, especially whenever your ex-wife has been through abuse. And it's just hard to talk about, Sean. It is.
No, I totally understand. I want to thank you for taking the time to come here, sit here, and just talk to me, talk to the world, and hopefully give people reasons to get up and make some changes when it comes to the registry. I mean, people, they are being forced every day into signing plea deals when they shouldn't even be in the courtroom. You know, some people are literally taking cases all the way to trial, knowing that they are innocent of the accusations, and yet are losing because of the charge or what they are accused of, or because they don't have the financial resources to pay for the proper or adequate or better counsel. And it's sad. It's hurtful. You know, it's destroying lives, especially when, you know, the accusation is something as crucial, or as when it's a sex case. I don't care what kind of sex case, any sex case you put on it, statutory, touching a minor, rape, indecent exposure, like just any accusation of any type of sexual crime, you know, it ruins lives. And we all do not deserve to be on a lifetime punishment, a lifetime registry, behind an accusation, behind some kind of misunderstanding, or be behind a lie. And
I agree.
We need to figure out how to come together.
And I will reiterate this. People can ask me for more information, but I'm going to just say that I am not the one that committed this crime. And my daughter basically is covering her ass. And if she would just come clean, tell her exactly what really happened, and maybe I could get out of this life, because I'm at the end. I really can't take this stuff no more. The restrictions are too much for me. And I'm sure it's too much for everybody else. It endangers my family, my friends, my safety, their safety. I can't participate in holidays. I can't go to a park. I can't go to a zoo. I enjoy animals. And I haven't been able to go fishing because I just can't do it without my son. And my son has been brainwashed for so long that he hates me. So that's just how it is with this life.
Yeah. Kenny, I'm sorry you are experiencing what you are experiencing. I'm hoping you the best. Once again, thank you for sharing your story. For those of you that's listening and watching, if you have experienced a situation like dealing with the registry on an accusation, a false accusation, or been unjustly charged with a sex case, and you would like to share your story, please email me at thepurejustice@gmail.com. That's ThePureJustice.com. Thepurejustice@gmail.com. If you know someone who has created a false accusation, please point them out. Put a face with the name. Just like it's hard for us to talk about our situations, regardless if it's an adequate charge or not. I mean, like it's tough. Like all of this is tough. It's tough on, people who lie. I get it. Having to stand behind a lie that you created and continuously keep the lie going is tough. Like coming clean is hard, but destroying a life, it's hard. Destroying a life a particular way, like it make us want to. I've been to the point to where I actually wanted to kill myself, and I know I'm not the only one. So I want to, if possible, change people's situations so they don't have to feel the way I did behind a false accusation. So if you have the power to change the laws, please change the laws. Look into how the registry is orchestrated, figure out, better moves going forward on, how to actually protect our communities, because the registry is not one of them. If you know anybody who created a false accusation, point them out. If you know anybody who destroyed a life because they were an angry parent and couldn't control their kid, point them out. Like, if we can't fix a problem until we actually look at the root cause of the problem. And sometimes the root cause of the problem is people taking advantage of the law. And that's what we have to prevent. So thank you all for watching. Again, thank you, and see you next time.